All right, to the NBA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the Thunder with 25 points in a 123-87 rout of the injury-depleted Lakers. Tensions flared during the game when Coach J.J. Redick and Jared Vanderbilt exchanged heated words after a timeout sub early in the second quarter. Here's J.J. on the exchange with Vanderbilt postgame.
Oh, just a confluence of things. Again, it's not again nothing personal with him. Normal stuff from my end. I think for all of us, being undermanned, and we've got to scrap and claw. We've got to all be on the same page. We got to be great teammates. We got to all play hard. Called a timeout to get him out of the game, and he reacted. But again, normal interaction for me. It's my job to make sure. And again, this is the way things started tonight. And I just called the early timeout because Rui didn't do his job, and so took him out of the game. We've got to find 9 guys that are like all in on us fighting.
You're going to ask DeAndre some things. What are those things, and how do you think he's?
Yeah, he's had trouble catching the ball. So we've ran a bunch of plays for him. He's just had trouble catching the ball, and I don't know if that's the passing or if it's him trying to get position. He hasn't been able to catch the ball.
I love that J.J. Redick did this last night, because some of the things the Lakers pulled off were so inexcusable. How do you think the players are going to respond to J.J.?
Oh, they're not going to like it, but who cares? LeBron James didn't play last night. A few other players didn't play last night. You're working with virtually nothing if you're J.J. Redick, who I believe has proven to be an outstanding coach. If you give him the personnel, he knows what to do with it. He knows how to capitalize off of it. Let me put myself on Front Street. And let me make sure that I'm looking at Wendy when I say this as well, and Doggy. J.J. Redick and I worked together, a couple years in my First Take and all of this other stuff. A lot of people looked at J.J. Redick, and they felt like he was an asshole. Let me be very, very clear about that. Let me tell you something right now. That might be true. It's a compliment. The man doesn't suffer fools. He doesn't play. And the one thing that you're not going to call him is a liar. Now, you might disagree with him. He might be wrong because nobody is perfect. And he is certainly an acquired taste, no doubt. I know he made me better. I know he made us better as a show. I know he's made the Lakers better, coaching them. I know he makes players better. I know that he develops them. And it's like, he's not a guy that's going to sit idly by and smile in your face or try to soft soak you being inept or lacking energy when it comes to doing the job that you're assigned to do. And he's not going to apologize for it. And I love it. It doesn't, again, he said, because he didn't do his job. Simple. There's nothing to guess. We got on Giannis. What we get on Giannis about? Say what you feel. Don't leave it to us to figure out. Tell us. J.J. Redick doesn't do that. You know. I didn't say he was always right, but he usually is. And I think that when you look at the Lakers and what he's had to work, they're 50-29. When you give him something to work with, and Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks, they know what they're doing. I got to give credit where credit is due. Vanderbilt, forget his offense. He's not there for offense. He's there for defense. But it doesn't help when you go into the game and you're missing 3 free throws and there's no LeBron James, there's no AR, there's no Austin Reeves, there's no Luka Doncic. You need something. You Rui Hachimura, everybody got to step in, you got to scrap, you got to claw, you got to do what you got to do. If J.J. Redick doesn't feel that you're doing it, he called a timeout to take Jared Vanderbilt out the game. You know how bad you got to be with no LeBron, no Luka, no AR, for the coach to call a timeout specifically to remove you. And then tells you, doesn't apologize, and then goes back to the bench and get on you again. What do we want? If he said nothing, we would question that. I root for Jared Vanderbilt. I like him and all of that stuff. This is not to throw any shade on him. But I'm going to back up J.J. Redick from a character standpoint to say that I appreciate the fact that he does not play. You got to, if you're around J.J. Redick as a player, if you're around him as a commentator and analyst, if you're around him as a reporter, you better be on your game. Because if there is a flaw in something, he will notice it. And he's going to come right at you with it. It is the J.J. Redick that I have always known. It is the J.J. Redick that I have always appreciated. And it is the J.J. Redick that I still got love for. I got nothing to say negative about it. I really don't.
So the only thing I just want to push back on a little bit here, because I agree with you. I said I loved the J.J. Redick. He's not really working with nothing. I mean,
what?
DeAndre Ayton was the #1 overall pick in the draft.
What's the matter
Rui
with you?
Hachimura was what? Wasn't he a lottery pick?
You know what you're going to make me do?
Laravia was the 19th pick in the draft. Luke Kennard was a lottery pick.
You're going to make me ask you.
These are tough draft picks.
Were you and the family in the Bahamas and you ran into DeAndre Ayton and you're being nice? Did you just say DeAndre Ayton? I mean, this dude. I mean, this is an
#1 overall pick.
Yeah,
he's working with nothing.
And there's also an APB out for him 50% of the damn time. You literally are calling airlines. Did he hop on a flight? Because sometimes he ain't showing up at the Lakers games. You just look at it, you see somebody in the uniform with his jersey on, standing 7 feet tall. But when you're looking for their game, it's an APB out for that bad boy. You don't know where to find it. Sometimes. We know DeAndre Ayton can't play, but this is a brother that literally shows up sometimes and goes like this. I really don't feel like playing. That's what his game emotes. We all know it. All of us.
Well, that's why J.J. Redick said he can't catch. That also is a problem. He has to be able to catch the ball. And that's why J.J. Redick is fired up. Wendy, what do you think?
Well, DeAndre Ayton hasn't been able to catch the ball since he's been in the league. That's neither here nor there.
I
was at the game last night. I was at the game last night, and you know, the come down here in L.A., I've been to about a dozen Laker games this year. The come down is just unbelievable from where they were a week ago, and that's the NBA and the nature of the fragility of basketball. JJ was seething from the start in this game. He was, this is the thing about JJ. He's a tremendous talent as a coach. I think he's going to have a long career. He's done a great job with this team. Sometimes, guys, he seethes. He called timeout less than 3 minutes into the game. There was no chance the Lakers are going to have to win this game yesterday. The Thunder were highly motivated to win. I won't go over the reasons why, but if they win tonight against the Clippers, they're pretty much going to take the rest of the regular season off. They were highly motivated to win this game. JJ called timeout 2.5 minutes into the game to yank Hachimura because Chet Holmgren got some easy baskets right out of the gate, okay? He put in 4 players in the first quarter, I believe. I'd have to go double check this, but I'm fairly certain.
I counted 3.
He used 4 players.
Might have been 4.
He used 4 players in the first quarter who have played with the South Bay Lakers this year. I'm fairly certain that they were just in the first quarter. Like, he did not have a full hand, okay? I think one of the things he was pissed off at Vanderbilt about was that Vanderbilt missed 3 free throws after he got fouled on a three-pointer with a tenth of a second left in the first quarter. And then, to be honest with you, Stephen A., I went to the bathroom. I didn't see what happened on the first play of the second quarter. I just knew I came back and there was already a timeout. So my guess is Vanderbilt did something in the first 15 seconds. But JJ was seething in this game, in a game he had no chance to win. But let me just tell you something else. After he pulled Hachimura, and he didn't bring him back for the full first half, after he pulled Vanderbilt, they actually tied the game midway through the second quarter. It was 36-36, and I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, you know what? The Lakers are hanging in there. And then Shea came back in the game, and it was a 20-point game like that because the Thunder are awesome. But, like, he was working last night. You know, I'm not sure that his propensity to seethe is always productive, but JJ was working last night. And the Lakers need to try to come up with smoke and mirrors to pull 2 wins out of their last 3 games. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. They got to play the Warriors, and they play the Suns and the Jazz. But if they can do that, they might hang on to the 4th seed and have home court. And he's working hard. Just last night it wasn't going to happen. He knew it going into it, and he was just really, I think, angry at the situation.
Vanderbilt's not Michael Jordan. When a coach takes you out of the game, sit on the bench. Okay, he's the coach. I'm old school. Coach takes you out of the game. Larry Bird never did that. All right? And he ain't Larry Bird, I can promise you. Willis Reed never did that. Clyde never did that. Ewing never did that. They take you out of the game, put your fanny on the bench. I don't want to hear a word out of you. And listen, you know, I had some, JJ and I were very rough that first. You know that better than anybody. Because you were sitting here.
That's right.
I have no problem with how JJ handled this. He's done a good job with the team. He's trying. He knows they're undermanned going into the game without 3 of his best players. He knows to be competitive, they're going to have to be scrappy, play every possession like it's Game 7 of the NBA Final. That's what he's trying to do. Vanderbilt doesn't like it. Sit on the bench, son. Sorry. You're not playing tonight. I'm going to do everything I can to be competitive in this game. Go sit down. So him to go bother him during a timeout? You got to be kidding me, really? Vanderbilt's going to do that? That's absurd. And good job by Brian there, because I just looked. OKC needs one more win. They need Game 7 at home against the Spurs.
Yes.
They need that game in their building against the Spurs. One more win. Conference final, they get that win in their building. And you and I both know that will be important for them in a conference final. Oklahoma City, San Antonio.
J.J. Redick, getting back to him. Like I said, he's an acquired taste. Shay, the same J.J. Redick you saw on that sideline is the same J.J. Redick we had to deal with when it was Doggy 1 minute, it was Big Perk another, it was me all the time. You understand what I'm saying? It was me all the time, and I loved it, okay? We live in a time and an age where we talk about player development. J.J. Redick is big on that. Analytics. J.J. Redick is big on that, and his staff is big on it. He's got 2 head coaches on his staff, and Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks, with 2 pretty damn good coaches. They could be head coaches again in this league.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, without question. And they should be strongly considered for jobs in this league. Let's be very, very clear about that. But there's a reason J.J. Redick is there and Darvin Ham is no longer there. Darvin Ham is an assistant with the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's be very, very clear about Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham can coach too. Darvin, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, he's the one that took the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals before they lost to the Denver Nuggets and Jokic and those boys. He's the one that did that. But what was the knock against Darvin Ham's? Relatively mild-mannered dude, okay? J.J. Redick is not that kind of guy. And let me tell you something. You know it. Everybody knows it. I don't care in what, when he was doing color while Breen and them was doing play-by-play, still the same dude. There is nothing about J.J. Redick that is a secret. You know who he is. He don't suffer fools. He don't suffer laziness. He don't suffer people that ain't going to do their jobs. He doesn't suffer lack of accountability. That's why LeBron wanted him. That's why LeBron wanted him. And that's why G. Buss and Rob Pelinka wanted him too. J.J. is being J.J. And when you give him his lineup to work with, he shows you there's going to be far more good than bad. I don't know about anybody else. I don't care if somebody could call you an asshole. You think I said that he's viewed as an asshole. You think I'm not viewed as an asshole by some people? You damn right, especially here, because I'm trying to win. And damn it, if we ain't doing what I want us to do, Stephen A. Smith is going to be an asshole. Book it, because I want results, period. That's JJ. That's JJ, even more so. I don't have a problem with it. It's what comes with it. Mad Dog Russo, Mad Dog Radio. You might be an asshole. I see you getting on your colleagues. They got to get over it, right? You want your job? You want your job? Remember what Michael Irvin said when they was doing the whole docu-series on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, and Troy Aikman got hurt, and Steve Berline came in, and they went to Michael Irvin. What did you say to him? Michael Irvin said, "Want your job? Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Want your job, right? Want your job? Give me the ball." That's what you do. J.J. Redick wants results, and he gets them usually because he is the way that he is. Yeah. He might be that kind of guy. So what? Get the hell over it, because without him being that way, the Lakers might be worse.
That's true. And so now maybe everyone's learned their lesson with them going to the bench and learning a few things. All right, coming up here is Kevin Durant and Ant Edwards actually